Has this ever happened to you?
You're playing a Mega Man game waiting for the good part, but you never get there? Are those stages just too poorly designed for your tired thumbs to clear?
There's gotta be a better way!
Why wait trying to get through all the slog to find redeemable qualities of your least favorite Mega Man games? With Ramblin Reploids, you don't have to! Listen as two of your favorite Reploid goofballs talk your ear off and skip right to the good parts for you! Tired of having to tell your friends how the game gets better if you just overlook these obnoxious flaws? Just give the Roids a listen, and they'll list it off for you. The Ramblin Reploids can be yours for the low price of 7 easy payments of 99 zenny. Call now, and we'll double your value by giving you a second pair of Ramblin Reploids, free!
Wow, what a
value!
Ramblin Reploids may not necessarily redeem poorly made games with their opinions. Ramblin Reploids' negative opinions do not necessarily negate your own and make the game a bad game. Ramblin Reploids reserve the right to love, like, or hate any games of their choosing. These terms are non-negotiable outside the state of California. Supplies limited. Limit 1 per household. Side effects include lack of boredom, insomnia, boredom, fits of laughter, anal discharge, tear duct leakage, dry mouth, nausea, and confusion. Ask your doctor if Ramblin Reploids are good for you. Many will enter, few will win.
Ramblin Reploids.
Hey there, everybody! If you didn't catch what this episode is about today, we are going to be talking about bad games that have redeeming qualities.
Woo!
I shouldn't say bad games, that's a little harsh.
I was gonna say we should put a little asterisk next to bad.
Yeah, well, you can't really put an asterisk in, like, audio, but if you guys were listening to our disclaimer earlier, then you would have caught that we're going to be talking about, the topic of the video anyway, is going to be bad games with good features or things that you like about them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is bad. In fact, I think each of us have a game on our list that we've chosen that we actually like and we don't dislike it, but because of the topic, we kind of had to pick, our least favorite, I guess.
Yeah.
But we just don't want you to think that if a game that you like ends up on this list, that it's a bad game. We definitely don't want to give you that impression.
Right.
Everyone is free to enjoy whatever they like. I know a lot of people who enjoy some of these games, even though I can't necessarily enjoy them the way they do, and that's totally fine.
Right.
But
as long as we're not attacking each other and just having a good time, I think that's...
We're not, and you know what? And we're all here to talk about the good things in those games. So honestly, we're just paying them a compliment this time around.
Yep.
So this episode is brought to you by SilBee. Thank you very much for requesting this episode. We're
Thank you, SilBee.
very happy to record it.
Mm-hmm. I'm Coleman X.
Oh yeah, we should probably introduce ourselves. We are the aforementioned Ramblin Reploids. That's Coleman X, and I am Twitch over from Reploid Revo. And we are going to talk your ears off today.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that our rocky start is over, I guess we should probably jump into our list. It looks like we burnt all of our energy on that infomercial startup.
Yeah.
I feel bad now because, man, it was so good.
It was.
So, let's go ahead and how about you bring us in with your game, and then I'll go after you.
Okay. I'm gonna start off light. Like you said, these aren't necessarily games that we hate or strongly dislike, but out of the classic series, Mega
some
Man...
of them we hate.
Yeah.
That's just me anyway.
Well, out of the classic series, Mega Man 8 is my least favorite. I don't hate it. I like it a lot. But I had to pick one for the list. But the best thing about Mega Man 8 to me is just the art direction. It is just a beautiful, beautiful game. The sprites are great. The cutscenes look amazing. It's fun to watch. I could watch the opening animation, on loop forever. It's so nice.
I feel like that song will get annoying though after a while. Ba, 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 ba,
Well, maybe
just
maybe
imagine
I'll
that
mute
for the
it.
rest of your
Maybe
life.
I'd mute it. Switch between the Japanese and American audio every now and
Well,
then.
okay, if you have that's the thing. If you had the Japanese intro of electrical communication, You would still be driven insane, but I don't think you'd want to unmute it. Or you'd want to mute it, rather. If you guys don't know what the Japanese intro to Mega Man 8 is, you should go look up Mega Man 8 Japanese intro, and the song is called Electrical Communication.
It certainly is a song.
That is a song that goes really fast, and it's just... it's out of control. As soon as you hit play, it's just gone.
It really is.
It's like the audio equivalent of being dragged behind a horse by a rope. Like, it's just... you're just gone.
But no, dude, the art direction on Mega Man 8 is definitely the best aspect about it, I think.
Oh, for sure.
And
I 1000% agree.
Yeah, like, it's the art, it's the music, like, the music's great, and the Mega Ball. You know, like, the Mega Ball is so underrated.
I can hear it in my head already.
But it's so cool. You can just bounce on it whenever you want. It's fun.
It's kind of like a rush coil.
Yeah, it's a rush coil that you can kick.
And you can, don't kick rush.
Kick rush. I don't condone kicking rush.
But you can bounce off the Mega Ball, and you can bounce off of it in the air, and if you're really good, you can, like, infinite double jump with it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. Mega Man 8 is actually one of my favorite games, but one of my favorite things about it is indeed the art direction, like you mentioned. There's just such a nice style to the artwork for Mega Man 8. Everything just kind of looks... to me, that's like what modern Mega Man looks like. And you know what? When we had that, like, 8-year drought where there was just no Mega Man until, like, Mega Man 9 came around, the art style for Mega Man 8 is, like, what I imagined in my head. You know what I mean? That's kind of what, it always was to me.
It's a really, really good look, and like you said in our last episode, that is kind of, like, as cool as that design of Mega Man can look, before they slightly changed the design of Mega Man 11. Like, that's, like, peak good Mega Man design.
It's like the perfection of classic Mega Man. If classic makes sense to you, you know what I'm saying? Classic Mega Man, I think, peaks in Mega Man 8, and a little bit in Mega Man in Base, because that also has some really good artwork. But that game also had artwork done by, like, a million different artists.
Yeah, it did.
But there is some artwork that overlaps with kind of the look of Mega Man 8. And also, I think... what was it? I think it was the Power Battles or Power Fighters also has similar art style, because they all came out around roughly the same time.
I think the arcade games are more based around Mega Man 7.
Yeah, they were based around 7, but then the sequel had, like, tie-ins to 8, because you could play as Duo.
Yeah.
But the point is, the art was around... It was all basically the same artist. From what I can tell, anyway. Mega Man 7's also pretty close to Mega Man 8, actually, if you look at the art.
It's really close.
I don't know, that whole era was just nice.
Yeah, and 8, just, like, sprite work in it.
Oh,
like,
don't get me started.
My favorite sprite in the whole game, I know, it's a weird statement, but it's when you're fighting Bass, and he comes down and he's, like, pointing at you in that, like, dramatic...
Oh, that's such a good sprite. And his, like, fins are really sharp looking.
Yes.
Like, just that finger is so dramatic. It's like... like...
Everything about Bass in Mega Man 8 looks so good. Like, he's just, like, it's exaggerated just enough to look really cool.
Yeah, I love the sprite work in Mega Man 8. Like, aside from the artwork, the sprite work is just super good. Everything is very expressive. It's super smooth. Like, I love how Metools will, like, look over a ledge and then trip and fall. Like, or the little soldiers in Clown Man stage, if they fall off a ledge, they will, like, swim through the air to try to stay up. Like a cartoon. And, yeah, everyone is just super, super expressive. I just love the way everyone moves. It's just great. And what's funny is, like, everyone kind of has, like, a squishiness to them. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think on the stage select screen, Grenade Man has a sprite that he doesn't use in battle at all, where, I think he's just standing there with his hands on his hips, and he's, like, tapping his foot, but, like, you can see his whole foot move really smoothly, and then, like, when it hits the ground, it kind of flattens out before, like, popping back to its, like, almost like a water balloon. Like, it has this neat cartoony quality to it that's just super good.
Yeah, that ties into my main problem with 8 is that Mega Man just feels heavy, because there's, like, the animation's so beautiful and fluid, but it takes a bunch of, like, animation sprites. So, like, instead of just jumping, it's, whoa, and then he jumps, you know?
Mhm.
Like, that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, like, really my only problem with it. So, like,
Yeah,
like I said,
think
I quite
part
like
of that-
Mega Man 8, but that's just...
You know what? I wonder if someone can make an edit of Mega Man 8 where, like, you take out that wind-up animation to get to the top of his jump, like, and he's just in the jump pose. And I'm like, I wonder if that would change the way the game feels for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that, like I said, that's, like, my only real complaint with it. And that's, like, a minor complaint. Like, I'll play 8 any day. It's really good.
Yeah, 8's a great game, and so is, by extension, Mega Man and Bass for those awesome sprites that they have.
Yes.
Just excellent work all around. One of my favorite pieces of artwork, which I will send you right now so that you can insert this into the video from Mega Man 8.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here I go. I'm gonna get it. Oh.
He said he wouldn't do it.
He said he was gonna do it, and he did it. Get out of here, Beat. Stop infecting my mind. Is that piece of artwork.
I love that one.
That one? And I have one more. I wish these were like one image. I wish I could combine these.
Oh,
into one picture.
I need to point out that Mega Man 8 roll is peak roll design.
Oh yeah, Mega Man 8 roll is still like the best design in my opinion.
And I think Wily looks really good too, with his like
Wily also
overdone.
looks good.
Like,
he looks like a
villain
super
setup.
villain now instead of a guy in a lab coat.
Like the skull tie. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good stuff.
he got like the skull tie and stuff. Mega Man 11 Wily is like subdued Mega Man 8 Wily. Like he
Yeah.
really went ham in Mega Man 8, and then in Mega Man 11 he just kind of like calmed down.
Well, in 8 he had a techno towering fortress, so you know
That's
you
true.
gotta
And he
expect.
also had like a
something.
drone. He had a quadcopter, and he was just like, Mega Man, look at this new thing I bought at Best Buy, you know, and he's...
It's over, Wily.
I like to... That's another thing, like, everyone makes fun of the voice acting in Mega Man 8, but you know what, I love it.
I do too. Like it's
I like Dr. Wily's, now world is mine! Like,
yeah, the world is mine. He says it like really fast and hard.
Yes. It's
Mario
over,
really
Wily.
likes to do the Mega Man 8 Mega Man voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we first like got together, she would always say, "It's over, Wily."
It's such a funny line. I love it. I just love now world is mine. That's my favorite. Just the way he says that.
He picked up one.
Not
rock
the
off
world,
ground.
just world.
Oh,
Now
you
world
crazy
is mine.
Wily.
You know what? I think maybe that's why I kind of like the artwork for Mega Man 11, because it feels a little bit like Mega Man 8, but less cartoony.
It's an evolution of 8.
Yeah, and I think that's good, because Mega Man 8 was really awesome. And I don't know. I mean, 9 and 10 were great too, but I really do wish that we had just iterated on 8
Yeah,
and just gone up from there, because then I'd be like, wow, where would we be, you know, next, you know? Oh well,
yeah.
what can you do?
That's Mega Man 8. What do you got for your first one?
So let's take a look. My first one starts at the very beginning, and that's Mega Man 1. It's no secret that I absolutely hate Mega Man 1. It is a very frustrating, difficult, annoying game. Like, it's not balanced very well, and like it's kind of glitchy, and like things don't really work as polished as they should. You know, but in spite of everything, the one thing that I really love about Mega Man 1 is just the entire ending sequence.
That's really
And I
good.
feel like that kind of makes it worth, like, the slog to get to the end. Something about the ending to Mega Man 1 is just kind of, like, magical to me. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, not only is it the ending to the very first Mega Man game, but I feel like it almost sets the tone for the entire franchise going forward. Like, it's kind of like that one message, you know, for everlasting peace has carried on for, like, literally decades at this point, and it's weird how, like, just a single ending to, honestly, a kind of a subpar game can still, like, resonate even to this day. Not because Mega Man 1 was, you know, like a great game by any stretch, but that Mega Man 1 then spawned an entire massive franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it like after that ending symbolizes like the start of like the Mega Man explosion, you know? And I don't know, something about that ending is just really worth it to get there and just watch it.
Mm-hmm.
The music is excellent. The text that they have there, the dialogue is excellent. And just the ending of, you know, like Mega Man finishing his fight, coming home, and just jumping for joy at seeing his family is like, you know, in all of his 8-bit glory, is like,
Yeah, it's
there's
beautiful.
just something really wholesome about it, and I just love that ending. It's really good.
Just the music that's playing during that is just so... It's so good, and then it goes into the Mega Man 2 theme, and then it goes into, like, just the walk theme. It's so good.
It's just excellent. It's a perfect ending sequence to a video game that really gives you, as simple as it is, a sense of accomplishment. And it's, I don't know, it's just great. Yeah, and that's another thing. For those of you who don't know, the intro to Mega Man 2 is the outro to Mega Man 1.
I kind of wish that idea carried on. Like, I'm glad it didn't in a way, because everything kind of has its own identity. But also, it's just like, that's just beautiful, you know, just push it to the front.
And you know what, that's another thing that I'm talking about. Like, it is kind of symbolic that, like, Mega Man 1 was kind of like a whatever game.
Mm-hmm.
But even though it was kind of a whatever game, the ending was really good. And then it's kind of almost saying, like, the beginning of this adventure is not so much important so much as what comes next. And both figuratively and literally, because Mega Man 2 was when everything just went off.
Yeah, it rose from the ashes, you know.
Like, Mega Man 1 was going to not get a sequel in Japan. Capcom was like, this game really didn't do that well in Japan, but it did do really well in the West, which is interesting because it kind of mirrors how things are today. Like, Japan has more or less dwindled its interest in Mega Man, but, like, in the West, it's still very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting how, like, the story of Mega Man kind of mirrors real life, you know, even today. And so they basically, Keiji Inafune and Akira Kitamura, I believe, pushed to get Mega Man 1 to have a sequel, and they were like, we'll do it in our spare time. And so the two of them kind of really focused, because they really wanted Mega Man to have a time to shine, because they saw potential in it that that Capcom didn't. And sure enough, when Mega Man 2 came out, it became like their flagship series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know, that ending is just very symbolic to me of not only the entire franchise, but also like the real life story of like what was going to happen to Mega Man from then on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's worth pulling your hair out playing Mega Man 1 just to see that ending and have it be real and not played in like a YouTube browser. But I don't blame you if you can't play it any other way. It can be a very daunting task.
I like the magnet beam. It's kind of neat. I like the idea, even though it's silly and required, but you don't have to get it. Like you said, it's got some weird design decision.
Yeah, it's a neat idea, but it is very frustrating to use when it falls out from under your feet. And also, if you forget to pick it up in one of the stages, you can't go back to get it.
Yep.
I think. And also, it's required for the Wily stage. So if you don't have it and you get to the Wily stage, you can't beat the game. It's like X6 all over again.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So,
my next choice is X7.
I quit.
There's plenty to dislike about X7. I don't hate it. It's like indifference, I guess. It's like you know, it's the bottom of the list. But if I'm like really desperate, I'm like, just whatever, throw it in. But one thing I found out recently, when the Legacy Collection came out, is that there's a New Game Plus. Which, back in the day when the game first came out, I beat it, got all 3 endings, and then just put it back in the case and didn't touch it ever again. But
I didn't even do that. I just skipped it. I couldn't stand it. I got to the end, I was so frustrated when Sigma took me into low Earth orbit, and I was just like, I'm done. I couldn't handle the Popeye Sigma anymore and all the stupid, frustrating red battle. I quit and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna look up the ending online.
Okay, fellas. But,
Show me a good time like you always do, fellas.
Professor, no! But yeah, New Game Plus actually makes the game a lot more fun. I did air quotes. Because,
Fun.
like, you know, you start with X, and X is actually kind of fun to play. Yeah, like when he's all beefed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, comparatively, you know? Like Zero is a nightmare. Huh. And, you know, Axel's just fine, but man, starting with X, it really changes the dynamic of the game. So if you have a completed save file, I'd say go back and try New Game Plus. It's actually kind of fun. And the glide armor looks cool. It sucks, but
Yes.
it looks cool.
That is, we've talked about this at length before, but my favorite thing about X7 is just the design of the glide armor, but man, it does nothing. It turns you into Knuckles the Echidna, but somehow worse. And that's not to say Knuckles is bad, I'm just saying, like, it's a crappier version of Knuckles. Like,
Well, you skyplank.
you like, exactly. You T-pose in the air. You know what? It would have been better if he did T-pose, like an actual T-pose, and then he's just like, meow, like an airplane.
We'd still be having debates on whether the T-pose was intentional or not.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be a great thing to discuss. Like, that would be the new debate that dethrones the plot of X4 as, like, the thing that everyone debates about. Yeah, glide armor looks super cool. Look up... I mean, all of the artwork for X7 is just beautiful.
Mhm.
I love the production value of X7's artwork and all that other... Like, it's got a lot of... How do I put this? X7 is like running a race and getting all the way to the finish line, like, in first, and then, like, slipping on a banana peel into a dumpster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything leading up to it sounds and looks like it should be, like, one of the greatest X games ever,
Uh-huh.
and it just completely falls on its face.
It gets hit by, like, 17 blue shells. All the finish line.
Yeah, exactly. You ever see that video of Mario Kart where, like, it's Daisy on a bridge?
Mm-hmm.
And she gets
I know
hit
exactly
by,
what
like,
you're
every
talking
item, and then, like, a guy bumps her at the end, and then she falls off. It's like that. That's X7. It's like you're all the way in front. The artwork looks good. The music is good. The everything looks good, and then, like, the game just plays like garbage. And you know what? It sucks because I was getting excited to see, like, how I would use Zero's saber in 3D. I was thinking, like, Devil May Cry style, and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be so cool, and it's just kind of not.
Mhm.
The saber has, like, barely any reach, and I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah, I remember being really excited, and then, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh is right.
But we gotta keep it positive. As positive as we can.
Yeah, that's right. We're not supposed to be... This episode is about finding that silver lining.
Yep.
X7 looks really good, has a decent story, and Sigma visits it for some reason.
Professor. Say his proper name.
Professor, excuse me.
Why is he called the Professor?
I don't... Wait, when does he call him the Professor? I don't remember.
That's what Red Alert calls him.
That's
like-
what who?
That's what Red Alert calls him.
the Professor?
Like as a whole, yeah. They're like, we're being helped in the shadows by the Professor. And then
Oh, I don't
when
remember
Axel
that
meets
part.
him, he's like, Professor, I'm going to destroy you.
Maybe it's to, like, hide the fact that they're working with Sigma?
But it's after you see Sigma, Axel calls him Professor to his face.
Listen. Maybe it's because Sigma's doing a Popeye impression that Axel doesn't realize that... I don't know. I'm done trying to redeem X7. I can't. I'm sorry.
Move on, quick.
Oh, you're not gonna like where I'm moving on to. We're hitting X6 next.
Oh man, let's get it over with.
Okay, so another game that is no secret that I absolutely despise is X6. And it sucks because there's actually a lot about X6 that I really like. Much like X7, the artwork I think is really good. It's pretty cool. Actually, the artwork is really great.
Mhm.
The armor designs are super awesome, some of the best in the series. The music is really good. Like, I really do love me some Commander Yarmark stage and Inami Temple. Those are some of the best tracks in the game, in my opinion. And basically, what I really like about X6, I'm trying really hard not to mention all the negative things that I don't like about it,
You can do it.
is that it has a villain besides Sigma, and it shows a direct repercussions of what happened in the previous game.
Well, I mean, they had to fudge it a little bit. Three weeks
they fudged
ago,
it a little bit.
The thing crashed, but he remembers Zero. I just go with it.
It's been 3 weeks, 3 years. Who cares?
They're both practically the same thing.
I mean, look, I can get into that and try to explain, and make it make sense, but I'm just not going to here.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll do that some other time. But the point is, I like that X6 follows right after X5, whereas in most X games, maybe X2, I guess, is a good one.
Yeah.
Usually every game in the series, when you play the next one, it's an indeterminate amount of time later, and you have no idea how the events of the previous game have affected anything. Like, X2 is at least telling you 3 months later or 2 months later,
6
whatever. 6 months. Oh man, I'm way off. Whatever. It's a couple months later, and you're still tracking down the leftover Mavericks. That's cool. It kind of shows you the Maverick Hunters are winning the war, you know, and it's not over just because Sigma's dead. It's kind of like in Star Wars, they kill the Emperor, and then the entire Empire just shuts down. They don't know how to run it anymore. I don't get it. So it's kind of neat seeing how things carry on after a game. When you go from X3 to X4, you're I don't know what's going on. They never explain what happened after this. You know, what's the follow-up?
Yeah, it's not like X3 ends with the formation of Repliforce, you know, and that carries over to X4. It's not like that happens. It just kind of, one story ends and another one begins.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's okay, because it's I love the story of X3 and X4, but I just want to see the repercussions. You could have had one throwaway line, you know, where they're now that the Repliforce has been formed after the events of the Doppler Town incident, that would have been all I needed, and I would have been oh, okay, cool, I get it. You know, but X6 does that really well in that, it starts up literally in the ending of X5. So, the colony crashes in X5, everything's in ruins, and then Gate strolls up, and he's just I'm just gonna pick through this trash and see if I get anything cool. You know, and you get to see what happens right afterwards, and that's really cool, showing the repercussions of the previous game and not just glossing it over. Because it could have been so easy for them to just put X6 again, an indeterminate amount of time later, and then just fix everything.
Yeah.
And then just gloss over the fact that a colony crashed and wrecked the planet. But instead, I'm glad that they owned up to that, and then we're no, look, everything is still ruined, they're still rebuilding. It's only been 3 weeks later, and I don't know, I just really like that. I thought it was cool to see the results of the previous game.
Yeah, I love that.
It doesn't feel like when you beat Sigma, you don't just snap your fingers and the world goes back to normal.
Oh,
you know?
I think I lost you.
And speaking of Gate, I like that Gate is a villain besides Sigma. He has his own motivations, he has his own reasons for being evil. I mean, aside from the fact that he became infected, but you know, I can believe that even if he wasn't infected, he totally would have, you know, gone on a jealous rampage or something, now that, you know, he has his chance. I like that Isaac is introduced, and he's kind of like a sidekick. Not a sidekick, but an assistant to Gate, and he's got his own, Wily connections going on. I don't know. There's neat stuff, and it doesn't feel like these are throwaway characters like Bit and Bite and the X-Hunters, and I don't know, they feel like they should be doing something in this world, and they hold a little bit of significance, because they're the ones pulling the strings, and there's no mention of Sigma at all.
Right.
Until the very end when he plops into the stage.
I do like that he is just a mess when he shows up, you know.
I think he shouldn't have shown up at all.
Oh no, he shouldn't have shown up. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't make him just like, haha, I'm back. You know, like an X7.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh god.
I think he shouldn't have come back until X8. Like, just
Yeah.
not at all.
X8 would have been the perfect time, and then kill him off.
And that's why, so like when X sees Lumine turn into Sigma, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, because it's been like 3 games now, so that would be enough time for it to be shocking to see Sigma come back. But like, you know, if X sees Sigma in any given X game, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, it's like they shop at the same grocery store. It's not that big of a deal.
I'll get you this weekend.
Yeah. Same time next month. Show me a good time like you always do, fellas.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't know.
Professor.
That's what I like about X6. X6 has a lot of problems. I feel like the stages are not play tested. I don't really care so much about the bugs, although the bugs are definitely like a quality control issue.
Some of them are
although
really
they are
fun.
mostly beneficial to you, so I guess there's that.
Well, my favorite thing about
don't know.
X6 is just Zero in general.
Oh, yes.
He has never played better. And
I forgot to mention that
God.
Zero gets a total overhaul in X6, and he's awesome.
yeah, he's like the Buster is so good. It's like fast and super strong, and just his combos feel good. The only thing about Zero that doesn't work is that ground attack that just makes you dive into the ground.
You just suicide dive into a pit.
Yeah, because you can't cancel out of it, and the control is like not the correct
This
button
is
for it.
this is the thing that I hate about all the games after X4. They change Zero's special move input to be on the attack button for some reason, like his regular saber, instead of triangle. And what that means is that you can't hold up and press square to like attack a normal enemy. And they put you in stages where you're hanging from like the wires. And so they put a nightmare thingy. You have to hold up to be on the wire. So when you jump to hit the enemy, your natural instinct is to continue holding up.
Yeah, so you
so
can
that
catch it.
when you come back to the wire, you'll grab it. But what you do is if you jump, if you're holding up and then hit square, you just dive bomb into the pit and you kill yourself.
He looks so happy while doing it. It's like, yeah, look
I
at
know,
me.
he's like, "Hoo," and just goes at like a very slow 45-degree angle. Like, if they changed it to the triangle button, you would have to very intentionally do that input to, like, make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did this, but I don't think I've ever been able to, like, switch it. Because it's not like a button thing. Like, it's not like you change your inputs. Or you can't change the inputs, you can only change which buttons you press to do the saber attack.
Well,
and that's the problem.
It's weird that attack is also up plus attack instead of, like, down, because it's a downward.
And that would
strike?
that's because he has his own downward attack in that game. It's like the giant metal sword thingy.
Right.
But even so, it's like, just make it the triangle button. Why is it so hard?
I don't know. But no,
Up and triangle wouldn't make you shoot the Buster because you can only shoot it forward.
Right. But no, but besides that, Zero plays like a dream in X6.
He really does. He feels super fast. His animations look good. He's just great. It feels nice. Except for that one suicide attack.
Yeah. It's one specific situation that almost everybody runs into while playing the first time.
Yep. It happens to me. I was playing once, and I was actively thinking, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and I still did it, because that's just your instinct.
Right. Ah, well. So we done with X6?
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Mentioning X6 is always kind of like pulling the pin out of a grenade.
Oh, it is.
But just, everybody play nice, you know. We all have nice things to say.
X6 has redeemable qualities. It was almost a great game.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
just that I think Capcom pushed it out the door way too fast and didn't do enough playtesting, bug fixing, or enemy placement. It just felt like they were just... They wanted to get it out too quickly.
6 more months
You know?
in the oven would have been just like perfect.
Yeah, I think so. I think just a little bit more quality assurance, and they would have had themselves an A-tier game. But hey, there's always that patch that people are working on, the hack to like rebalance the game and stuff. And yeah, I hear it makes X6 quite playable. So I don't know. Give that a shot if that's your cup of tea. Give X6 a shot. No one wants to hate it.
Wait, give it a shot? Like when you shoot a soccer ball? That's so weird because Mega Man Soccer is my next
He
choice.
scores! Goal!
Goal!
What an excellent segue by Coleman X.
Excellent, like X4. Okay. So
Okay, you get one. Stop showboating.
I couldn't think of one for that. But so Mega Man Soccer, it's okay if you know
It's
how
a
to
game.
play it. Like I had a friend that was so good at that game, like it looks like it's the only game he's ever played. You know, like he was that good at it. But just the best part about it is that it's just an honest to God spin-off. Like we got a Mega Man Sports spin-off. And that's awesome.
I kind of wish we got more because, like, I
Mhm.
like the concept and, like, you could do some fun stuff with that.
And they had some obscure characters. Like that was the first place I'd ever seen Enker. You know, like
Oh yeah, I
I'd never
forgot
heard
he's
of
in
that
that
character.
game.
And that was the first place I saw Gemini Man too. Like I'd never seen him before at that point.
I want like a Mega Man baseball game now.
Yeah.
Like, where you can have like Quickman and he just runs the bases like in a second.
Maybe he doesn't hit the ball very hard, but he runs
Yeah,
fast.
like something crazy like that. Yeah, like I would love to like mix and match like, you know, Mega Man and like just kind of like do the Mario thing.
Do the Marios!
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, something about like, you know, taking Mega Man and doing more spin-offs. Like that's been a big request of mine.
Mhm.
Like we got Mega Man Soccer, which is kind of like, okay,
Right.
but it is fun. It's a fun concept. It gets a lot of charm just for the fact that it's a Mega Man Soccer game. And I also like Battle and Chase, which is just a Mega Man kart racer, which we desperately need a sequel for.
Yeah, like Battle and Chase just on its own is just a pretty good game. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
so
pretty-
like
it's a good game.
definitely doesn't qualify for this list, but yeah, just spin-offs is like I think it's fun if it's not like every other game is like a dumb spin-off, but every
Yeah.
now and then, you know, just do something wacky. In fact, we've talked
Yeah.
about this before.
Yeah, it's fun. Just do something.
That's our moral today. Do something.
Yeah, that's exactly. Do something, but maybe not X6. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
Positivity. Soccer is fun. Go. There's nothing quite as like okay. So I don't know if this counts, but isn't there like a move in Mega Man Soccer where like you shoot the ball like out of your buster? Does that count as like touching the ball with your hands if it's your arm?
Well, does his hand, does it get sucked up into the buster, or does it dematerialize and become the buster? Because in the opening animation for X3, like the PlayStation version, it shows him suck like his hand into the buster. But in other cases, it just kind of becomes the buster. So
I don't really know how it works, but I just know that like when you do like the super shots, like you shoot the ball like a charge shot, and it's awesome.
Yeah, some of them are really cool. Like Cutman's like cuts whoever it hits like in a million pieces, and
They fall apart like Ruby Spears characters.
Man, that could have been the perfect. You know what they should have done? They should have done a Captain N football spinoff.
Yes, exactly, with Quickman. With Sickly Quickman and what is it? Lacrosse Crash Man?
Yeah.
Lacrash Man! Why didn't we
Lacrash
think of
Man.
that at the time? I think that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Lacrash Man.
Lacrashman.
Lacrashman.
But yeah, that's all I've got for Mega Man Soccer. Like it exists, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, it's a novel idea, and I like that. And it's Mega Man dies in the end. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
Yeah. Well, that's
there's
the
a hidden.
that's the in-between game from the Classic and the X series.
Yeah, that's the ending to the classic series. Is that Mega Man dies in an epic game of soccer?
Would you say it's a load-bearing goal?
Yeah, it was a load-bearing goal. If you guys don't know, Mega Man Soccer has a hidden ending in it, which you can access if you like hack it. like Game Shark or something like that. And also Wily is playable. I think in versus mode you can actually see his icon is like it's like not quite hidden off screen. So like there's just an icon that you can't select that you can almost see just kind of sitting there. And there's also like a hidden ending where Mega Man is on the field with Dr. Wily, and I think it shows Wily like knocked over and like defeated because Mega Man scored like the final goal. And then all of a sudden the soccer stadium out in the middle of the ocean starts to crumble and explode. And then Proto Man teleports out or something and lands somewhere, and he watches the stadium explode. And then it plays sad music while a ghostly image of Mega Man smiling down on Proto Man appears in the sky. Like, did he die? What happened?
For everlasting peace.
He played soccer for everlasting peace. So yeah, Mega Man Soccer is wacky. Go play that.
Yep. Moving on.
I guess for me, my next one is kind of a twofer because I kind of roll these two together as like one game, and that's ZX and ZX Advent. Now, I by no means like hate these games, but they're kind of a soured experience for me. And that's because, in spite of like a horrible map and like tons of backtracking, I think they actually have really excellent gameplay.
Yes.
I feel like the variety of the biometals is amazing. I love the freedom of movement when you're playing as Model H. I love when you go
Model
to...
H, so good. Model H is just amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's just an excellent model to play as. I feel like they gave that one extra attention. Maybe that's just me. I like that if you alternate between like your primary and alternate fire buttons, you could do like a 3-sword slash and shoot out like a blade beam. Like, there's so many neat things you could do. If you play as Model F, you can go use the second screen and like modify what direction your bullets go in, which is like super cool because like now you can make complex bullet patterns and like shoot over obstacles. Like, I've used that so many times to like cheese out enemies and bosses. It's great.
You can unlock Model O as a secret on the first one.
Yeah, we can
That's
get Model
so cool.
O and just play as Omega.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's basically just Mega Man Zero, but like with all the abilities unlocked. But still,
Man, if you turn on the, I forgot what it's called, like the hyper mode or whatever, and then just
I always forget that's a thing.
Well, with Model O, like every button does like a screen clear, like his like super attacks. It's really wacky. Because when I first got it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine, I guess. And then someone, like, I was streaming it, and someone's like, no, push the overdrive button, and just like, it was just nuts everywhere. It was so cool.
Yeah, man, like there's so many like things that you can do in the ZX games.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a lot of fun, you know. And talking about ZX Advent for a moment, like aside from the biometals in the first game, which are really awesome, you get those same biometals in the second one with like slightly modified things. Like I believe Model P's shirt. By the way, I've used Model P like the most. It's my favorite one. I believe the kunais that you shoot. I think now they like spread or something instead of going in like a completely straight line. It's something like that. Some minor difference. But anyway, I love that you can play as those again, obviously. But now you can even play as the bosses, and I know a lot of people don't like playing as the bosses. But I think that's such a fun idea. Like, even if it's useless, it's fun.
I like the idea, but being forced to do it, it's like, come on, I don't want to be this guy. You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's where it's soured for me, and probably for a lot of other people. But just the fact that you can is pretty cool.
Yeah, like, I used to play ZX and ZX Advent a lot, and, like, some of my favorite things was to just run around in the open map and just have fun, just like an open world, like just going GTA on Mega Man X, you know, or ZX, I should say. And just having fun playing as all the different models and just exploring, like, just going crazy with it. It was just fun.
Yeah, just go out and have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to love, like, seeing, like, okay, can I beat this entire stage while playing as, like, Bifrost or something? You know, like, can I beat this stage by playing as Buckfire? Like, you know, just picking characters and just seeing, like, how I can beat the stage with the most impractical character.
Beat the whole stage as the water boss that just sits there and grunts.
Yes, just dumb things like it's fun. I just love how it's great, and kind of like what you said about like being forced to switch to certain bosses. That reminds me a little. This is kind of like a tangent, but it's something that I've noticed a lot of people talk about. In Sonic Heroes, you're playing as 3 characters at once. You're playing as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and then on the other teams, it's like their equivalents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cool idea that you can switch between those 3 characters and get their abilities, but there's literally parts of the game which force you to play as those characters to progress, and that's what people don't like, is that it's like, well, if you're giving me the option to switch to these characters, what's the point if it's no longer optional?
Right.
You know? And I think I'm just touching on that because I think that same logic kind of applies to ZX Advent, where it's like, yeah, I really love, turning into this, boss character when I want, but I really hate when it's like, I'm just having fun running around as, like, Gray or Ash, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you have to turn into this boss to get through this route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I wish there was, like, more options to just kind of, or just multiple options. Like, well, maybe I want to get through here, like, by doing this. Or
like, you have, like, 3 to choose from or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of forcing you to do it one specific way.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any problem with that if you like put the player in like a tutorial area to like force them to accommodate themselves with like a new power. That's fine. Like doing it once just to get them used to the powers is fine. But I think after that it should always be entirely optional.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, ZX and ZX Advent, they just have so many gameplay options. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's really awesome, and I think it really kind of blows the doors open for like what you can do in a Mega Man game. And the only thing really keeping it back is just the slog of how to get from mission to mission and all the backtracking they make you do to get to the fun gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it if they could do something similar. Cut out all the mission selects and stuff like that, and just let you explore, and if you stumble upon a mission, you just start the mission right then and there. Something more open, Don't let the player explore if you just want them to select, like a stage boss and zip to the stage anyway. Just stop with all the backtracking. Let people just have fun and use the bosses to their advantage. I don't know. That's my thoughts on ZX.
They, to mitigate that, they could just have 2 different playstyles. Like, one could be just a level select thing, and it will just teleport you to where you need to go. So you have, your missions and you're just running around having fun. Kind of separated. Because, like, someone like me, I like to just go straight to the mission and do it, and then have fun while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, getting so slogged down with getting lost and stuff.
Yeah, that's been my main complaint, is, if I could just jump to the mission and just restart from there every time, I get a game over or something, I would be happy with that. And I think that's kind of what the Legacy Collection did to fix it, is they just let you save anywhere, which is great. If they had that in the default game, it would have been no issue. But I think also I would love it if you could just wander into mission areas on your own and start the mission.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've had instances where I think I've gone to where the mission was supposed to be, and then, the door just doesn't work or something.
Right, you have to select it from the hub or whatever, don't you?
To, activate it so that you can go there. But then when you pick it, you're like, well, how do I get there?
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where I've stumbled onto an area, and I'm like, oh, I wonder where this is. This must be, the whatever area. And then there's no mission to do there. So I go home, and then I talk to the computer or whoever it is to activate the mission select. And then they're like, oh, go back to this area. But now I don't know how to get back there now, because, I'm all lost.
Yeah.
So, I would have liked to have just tried it when I had the chance.
Yeah. Well, what if the game had, a Crazy Taxi style arrow? Just an arrow at the top of the screen, and it would just, if you wanna know how to get to Area M, I'll show you. Or you can just explore on your own. You can ignore the arrow,
That would be immensely helpful. I would love the Crazy Taxi Arrow to make a cameo in future ZX games, because that's all that game needed, and I would have had I think it would be a perfect game, and I would have nothing to complain about. It's just getting constantly lost and all the backtracking you have to do, and if you die, you have to reload your save, and you're like a bajillion miles away. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, I'm right there.
When you're just playing and you either have no objective in mind or like you're just having fun, the gameplay is peak Mega Man. It's beautiful.
It's really good.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is go play the game, open up GameFAQs, and go find a map.
Yeah.
A working map.
and turn on Save Assist and just have a good time.
Yes, and turn on Save Assist. It's fun. Highly recommend playing the Legacy Collection because they helped mitigate much of these issues. I'm talking about the vanilla DS version of the game. But the Legacy Collection, like I said, added a Save Anywhere feature, which really, really, really fixes a lot of this. So go get out there and play it now.
Now.
It's not perfect, but it helps.
It helps a lot.
Yes.
Well, my last choice is... it's not a cop-out, I don't really know the word for it, but it's our show and we can do what we want. So, I picked...
Screw the rules.
I picked Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Because, like, it's an okay game. You know, like, it looks extremely ugly. You know, I'm not, you know, saying any new news here. But just the fact that X finally makes it into a versus game was just, like, so cool. Like, I love that, you know, my boy made it, you know?
I know, it's like, we started from the bottom when we made it all the way here. And on top of X, Sigma is in the game.
Yeah. Sigma made it. It was a big
They got a double whammy. It was pretty awesome. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has a slew of issues. But I will say, when I played it, it is probably the most fun I've had playing a Marvel game in like a long time. It's a lot of fun. I love the stones and their abilities. Well, I love that X and Sigma are in the game. I'm just a little disappointed that it went from a 3-person tag fighter to a 2-person tag fighter, so I can't have X-Zero and Sigma on a single team.
Yeah. Well,
that would have been pretty sick.
One thing I liked about the game, also, and this is something that a lot of people I know have complained about, is that it's more casual friendly in the controls. Like, I'm not a fighting game person, like, I love them, just...
I don't see how it is.
But it's just like, you can do combos just by hitting the punch button. You know, like...
But I'm confused because Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the one that only has, like, 3 attack buttons, isn't it?
Yeah, but this one has, like, auto combos that you can do. Like, it's got, like, basic combos, and then your hyper moves can also be mapped to, like, one button instead of having to do a...
I mean, I don't know why people are complaining about it. I mean, you don't have to use it.
Yeah, I think it's because it lowers the barrier for entry for, like, competitive play.
You gotta let the casuals play, too. I think everyone deserves a chance at feeling awesome.
Yeah. I
mean...
Like, I liked it for what it was. Because, like I said, I'm not very good at fighting games, but I still want to be able to just go out there and do something that looks kind of neat.
Well, yeah, and you know what? That's so. Here's the opposite end of that spectrum. I loaded up King of Fighters 98 once, and I just got absolutely bodied by the AI. And I came to find out later that SNK AI is just brutally hard and will input read everything. And like the way you beat it is to basically like put in bullcrap inputs to trick the AI. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like really like not fair. It's literally not fair. And I just got so slammed. I was like, why do I even want to play this? I don't even stand a chance.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even begin to practice because I can't do anything. You know? And so, you know, people can say like, oh, you're you know,
get good,
and why are you, you know, pandering to these, you know, these people, you know, with like auto combos and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but you know what you're doing? You're also allowing the average person to get used to the controls and figure out how the game works. And then maybe one day they're going to be bold enough to turn off auto combo. And then maybe they're going to try to do their own combo or try to imitate what they're watching with auto combo. You know, you have to have a certain level of accessibility, and if there is no accessibility, then your game is only going to be played by, like, the most elite of the elite, and, like, listen, that's not how you sell a good game.
Right.
You know, there needs to be a certain level of accessibility, and in a goofy game called Marvel vs. Capcom, where Captain America and Mega Man X are best buddies, you have to have a certain, you know, easiness. There's gonna be kids who want to play this game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep it simple for them. Let them figure out how to, you know, like. Man, if when I was, like, little and I didn't know how to, like, play Street Fighter 2, I would have loved it if I could have just pressed a button and hurled a Hadouken at someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, but no, I mean, eventually I did learn how to do the inputs, but, like, it was so frustrating getting to that point. You know?
Yeah.
So, more accessibility the better, I say. It's not a replacement. Don't worry. You know, they'll learn the skill eventually, and maybe they won't. Maybe they just want to play casually. Just let people do it.
Maybe they just want to do single player and that's it. Like, that's where I am.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I do. I played single player. I play against my friends. That's it. You know, who cares? Why don't you gotta get your panties out of the twisted knot that they're in or something? Get out of here.
But yeah, that's my last choice. And I guess Ultron Sigma looks so cool.
Yo, just Sigma in general he's a really great character.
He is.
His attacks are cool. I like that he can shoot the laser across the floor, and, like, he can do the freaking, what the heck does he have?
He's got that,
like, rips open holes into cyberspace with his sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got that super move where, like, all the Sigma virus, like, attacks the other person.
Yeah, it's really, like, cool. Super hype. I like that he has, like, a move where he just grabs you by your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or he has, like, the counter, which is a lot of fun. I don't know, man. Sigma's a lot of fun to play. Sigma and X are just really good. It's just fun to have them.
Sigma shouldn't have been DLC, but he's really fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for what MVCI is, I feel like none of the DLC should have been paid for, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Put more Mega Man characters and crossover fighters. Come on.
Make a Mega Man crossover fighter.
Just make a Mega Man fighting game. Let's just cross over everything.
Yeah. But another thing that Infinite did that I was really happy for, they did the version KE designs as
alternate costumes.
Yes. Well, that was cool.
Super sick. I really did like that, and I liked that. I liked the alternate colors that referenced other characters.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was super cool. Like, you can get, like, Marino colors if you want.
Yeah, on the X also has command mission colors that you can do. Yeah, there's Marno, Cinnamon, and Spider, I think. I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time. Something like that. There's 3 of them. One of them's definitely Marno. And it's just, like, it's cool. Like, it looks like when they put X in, especially, like, I feel like someone, like, really liked Mega Man X. And, like, you know, the art style is trash, but the Mega Man characters look pretty alright. I think it's because they're, you know...
They're holdovers from MVC3. Like, they're more or less the same looking.
But it's just... ugh. But the, it's just that they don't look realistic, you know? They're not trying to look like...
They don't fall into the
humans.
uncanny valley.
Yeah, they look like Mega Man characters put into 3D. Like, they're done right, and I like that. In the cutscenes, they walk like goobers, but...
You kind of have to when her legs are that big.
Like, it's a video game.
It's kind of funny, though. Like, if you think... So, this is I'm gonna break the immersion for all Mega Man games. So Mega Man runs all the time, right? But have you ever thought of how many times his legs will clank together at the ankles?
Oh man, just scraping.
Because of how just big the legs are. It's just a thing that's gonna happen. Like, you know, you can fudge it with, like, sprites because, like, you never actually have to draw 2 things intersecting that way. But in 3D, it's very obvious when 2 things collide with each other, and they just, you know, they clip. So that's why when they walk, they have to, like, walk like cowboys who, like, shit their pants. You know?
Yeah. But, like, geez, just show them from the waist up. It's a cutscene. You can put the camera wherever you want.
Just, like, fudge it with camera trickery.
Yeah, because, like they're just hobbling back and forth. I'm like, come on, you guys are, like, the coolest.
I wonder if, like, the motion capture actors, like, had big things taped to their feet for, like, how big their steps would be.
They put their legs in, like, 5-gallon water jugs. Alright, don't make them touch.
Yeah, don't make them touch. They probably... Oh, man. Listen, I've walked around in a costume like that. It's hard on your freaking thighs. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I do not envy Mega Man characters, but you know what? Every time I see, like, artwork of, like, how they're drawn, I'm always just like, yeah, this anatomically makes sense. But, like, in real life, it really doesn't.
Right.
Oh, well, good thing you don't do much walking in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah. You just hop, dash.
Mostly jump-ins and dashing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my take on MVCI. What do you got for your last one?
So, my last one is Mega Man 11.
You hate Mega Man 11?
Yes, I hate Mega Man 11, and I hate anyone who enjoys it. No. No. I don't hate Mega Man 11, although I will say I was really frustrated with it when I first played it. And I still am a little frustrated with it, but there are some good points. So, one thing that I think everyone can agree on is that one-button rush powers is super useful.
Yes. And one-button slide.
Yes, just mapping rush to a single button is awesome. Just being able to go like boing and just hit a button and he comes down. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah. Perfect. I love it. If you need him for anything, you can just call him down. You don't have to pause. It doesn't interrupt gameplay. It's like, what are you using those 2 buttons for? You're not using them for anything. Get out of here. Put rush on them. I love it. My only wish is that in Mega Man 12, whenever that happens, that maybe you can choose which rush powers you want to map to your buttons. Like, instead of just having 2, you have, like, I don't know, 4, whatever rush transformations he usually gets.
Mm-hmm.
Give us, like, more than just 2, and then map them to the whatever button you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy you can finally put the slide on a button, so it kind of feels Mega Man X-ish.
That, too. That does feel kind of nice. I like that you can do that. I will admit I never use it.
I used it.
But it is cool that you can do that, because there's something really fun. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like when you play Sonic, and you hold down and then hit the jump button to do a spin dash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's something fun about, like, running forward, holding down, and then hitting the jump button to, like, run into a slide. Like, something fun about that particular input that works really nice. But besides Rush, because that is awesome, I also really like that they added environmental interaction.
Did Proto Man tell you to burn down the forest again?
Okay, I was gonna get there. This is both a positive and a complaint for me. I like that there's environmental interaction, and I'm glad that they are thinking of it, but I also don't like the environmental interaction because I don't feel like they did it well. And what I mean by that is that every stage comes with some sort of stage hazard that can be beaten with a weapon from a boss, which is a great idea. That every stage has a hazard, and one of the weapons is able to defeat that stage hazard for that stage. That's super cool. It's kind of like how every boss has a weakness, every stage has a weakness, and I like that idea. But I didn't like how lazy it was. It's kind of like, hey, here's a bunch of lasers in Fuse Man stage. Oh, if you throw the bouncy ball at them, it'll destroy the lasers. Alright, you're done. Mm-hmm. And like, okay, so it destroys it. And then I can't remember the other examples that I was thinking of when we were coming up with this topic, but there's a bunch of examples of just like a weapon that just destroys the obstacle. And I'm like, alright, I guess that makes the stage easier, but that's not really what I wanted out of like environmental interaction. When I think of good environmental interaction, I think of Mega Man 7, where if you're in a dark area, you can use the flame wheel, and it'll like light up the area for you. You can light candles with it. You can use the Thunderbolt to start up generators in Junkman stage. You can use the ice weapon to freeze the lava in other stages, and also in Turbo Man stage. Like, there's all sorts of different ways that you can use the weapons to interact with the environment, and not always in ways that just blow up an obstacle. Because sometimes it's not even an obstacle. Sometimes you're just using it and it helps you. It's just a net positive. And I just wish there were more things like that, as opposed to, this is a stage hazard that kills you, but if you use this weapon, it destroys it.
Right.
Like, I don't want to blow up all the stage hazards. I want to feel like, oh, look at this neat shortcut I found because I decided to use this weapon in this way. You know, it makes you feel like you're using the weapons in a way that's not just blowing stuff up. It makes you feel like you're being clever. You know, if you're in Junkman stage and you shoot the generator with Thunderbolt and all the lights turn on and then the elevator starts working, you feel really smart for that. You're like, oh, look at that. I turned on the thing and now I can use this machine to get around. You know, or if you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get around this fire? Oh, I'll freeze it and now it's frozen and I can't get burnt by it. Now I can go through this area safely. Like, little details like that are super fun, and I just feel like Mega Man 11 had the right spirit, but just didn't do it right. They were like, oh, we'll do environmental interaction, and then they just missed the point of what it's supposed to be.
They kept it very safe. That seems like a running theme with 11. Like, it's definitely on the right track.
It's a very safe game, is how I would describe it. It's like they didn't want to do anything too crazy, because, you know, they're like, oh, let's see if these people still want Mega Man.
Right, yeah.
Like a school of hungry piranhas, we just devoured it.
I get the mindset. It's like, well, it's been a long time, you know, let's just do something vanilla and go from there, which...
Come on, man, you couldn't let me have my little Thunderbolt activates a piece of machinery? Come on.
That's what 12 is going to be for.
I hope so, because, I mean, like I said, they had the right idea, and it was like, yes, that's good that you had the foresight to make every stage have a hazard that is interacted with by a weapon. But where they failed is that the way that it interacts with that stage hazard or obstacle is that it just destroys it. And that, I think, is boring. You know, I can only watch the same pre-rendered explosion over and over again before I'm like, alright, is this going to do anything different? One thing that was cool is that I found out that you could use Thunderstorm to stop the firewall.
Yeah.
In what's his name? Is it Torchman?
Is it Torch? Yeah, I think it's
Torchman. Yeah. I had to go through all the different fire synonyms before I came onto Torch. Yeah, like, I think that's kind of cool, but again, to me, it just kind of feels like I have defeated the obstacle. It doesn't feel like I'm doing anything super useful. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if you use Thunderstorm, what it could do is it blows over the wood, because there's, like, wood platforms and stuff. Maybe if you use Thunderstorm near it, it blows open the wood and opens up a faster path for you to run away from the fire, as opposed to you just temporarily stopping it. You know? And I never understood, why the hell is there a giant firewall on that stage? How does that work?
You know.
I have no idea.
Well, you know, my favorite part on Mega Man 11 is the weapon get, because it just puts you in a room and lets you do whatever you want with the weapon.
That is also a great idea. I love that.
Like, because I thought the one on Rockman and Forte was good, because it shows you every application of the weapon. You know, like, it puts multiple enemies down, and it's like, okay, here it is in a little animation. But this one, you get to actually do it, and you turn the gears on and off and stuff. It's really fun.
That, I think, is super cool, and it makes you feel really awesome when you get it, because you're experimenting. That's also I forgot all about that, but that's excellent. Really good game design right there. It was just funny, because it's like, by doing less work of making a demonstration for how, you know, they just put you in a room and you can just do it. Yeah. I'm surprised that wasn't thought of sooner.
Yeah, it took long enough to get the best version of Weapon Get.
But they did it, so that, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, excellent.
So what are some games that you might not like, but have points about them that you do like? Please let us know.
Yes. Tell us down in the comments, what games do you not like, but have things in them that you do like.
Yeah.
For instance, do you hate Mega Man for DOS but enjoy the stupid robot dogs in the beginning? Tell us about that.
Do you really like going through that toll booth?
Yeah, the random toll booth that leads to the robot zoo or whatever it is. I don't know. Let us know down in the comments. Is there any good features about the games that we talked about that you think that we might have missed? Let us know, and we'll keep the discussion going sometime.
Yeah, and just remember, be kind to each other. Everyone has their own opinions.
Be kind. This is not an endorsement to hate any of these games. And if we pick a game that we said that we dislike, it is not a personal attack. Everyone is free to enjoy any games they want. And as we just said, all of these games have redeemable qualities about them, so that's a good thing.
And I guess that about does it for us. Thank you all for coming.
We will see you guys next time.
Hey, thanks for watching. Big thanks to The Real Zero, Dano, Dende, SilBee, Sigma, Dornor, Masterman, and the rest of our supporters. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss more fun in the future. See you then.